Hey everybody, just wanted to check in with you and say good afternoon from Quartzsite, Arizona. I'm still out in the desert, yes. RTR finishes up today, I think it was, but I finished what I needed to do over on that side of town a couple of days ago. To be honest with you, I just got tired of eating dirt, and I woke up sneezing and my eyes were burning, and I thought, okay, it's time to move camp. So I moved on the other side of Quartzsite out into another wash that's a lot more rocky and not so much sand blowing around and not so many people out here, and it's a lot quieter. But and I've been here for a couple of days. Found out today Charity's going to have some work done on her, which is probably going to leave me sitting for at least a month. So I'll be sitting in the desert for a month. So I'll be here for probably until the 27th. Then I got to find a place to park for another 14 days and another place to park for another 14 days until the end of the month. And then my money comes in again at the end of the month. I just want to ask you, if you will, please be praying. I have an item up on OfferUp in the local area. It's my cargo carrier that's on the back of my van that I installed. My son-in-law, kind of encouraged me to get it, and I thought, okay, I think I might need it. And then after coming out here, I realized, you know what? I really don't want to put anything extra on my vehicle, and I don't really want to encourage myself to be hoarding anything or keeping anything. I just want to try to be as minimal as possible. So for the last couple of days, I've run into a couple of people and felt like I should give them some stuff, and I gave them some stuff. And in return, I've had people give me coffee, which, maybe in a way it might not seem like a big thing. But you know what? Friendship goes a long ways when you offer somebody a cup of coffee. That's kindness. And I want to talk to you about kindness. My friend Richard Allen Hall, he's an author and he's on my Facebook page, but he always makes statements every day and talks about being kind. And, for a while there, I kept thinking, okay, dude, what is it? What is this about be kind? You know what? We have to be reminded to be kind. We have to be reminded that kindness goes a lot longer, a lot farther than anything else. Love and kindness go together. And I got to thinking about, there's a passage of scripture in the Bible that says, let the law of kindness be in my mouth. And I thought, that's kind of weird when you think about that. The law of kindness. The law of kindness. That means, all right, if we think about law in the modern concept of what a law is, that means there's not a choice whether to obey it or not. That means it's written. You need to be obedient to it. And if you don't, then there's consequences connected to it. So I put that in perspective and I thought about the law of kindness. If I don't have the law of kindness in my mouth, what happens? Well, you know what? There's consequences when we're not kind. There's consequences when we do unkind things. There's consequences when we don't speak kindly to one another. There's consequences when the word kindness just not is even in our vocabulary. So I want you to think about this. Is the law of kindness in your mouth? Not only is it in your mouth, but is it in your heart? Is it in your mind? Is it in your spirit? Is it in your inner man? Because isn't the law of kindness, whether it's a scriptural reference or just a reference from life itself, isn't the law of kindness a platitude that we need to use, not just to gain something, but to feel good that we've been kind to others? Because when we're kind to others, 9 times out of 10, people are kind to us. I've met people that are so caustic and so nasty, and they wonder why people treat them the way they do. Well, guess what? The law of kindness is not in you. So when you don't sow kindness, you don't get kindness unless somebody's willing to reach out past that they see in you and say, you know what, they're not kind, but I'm going to be kind anyway. And I've had a couple of opportunities here to be unkind. And I was unkind the other day in something that I said, and I've checked myself. I felt the Lord check me and say, are you being kind? They can't hear you, they can't see you, but are you being kind? Because I can hear you and I can see you and I know what's going on inside of you. So let the law of kindness dwell within you. And I thought, you know what, God, that's one of the reasons why you brought me out here, so I could find out about me, find out about life, find out about the way you perceive things and about the way we do things. And I thought, you know what, let the law of kindness be in my mouth, not because I'm trying to gain something from anybody or I hope to get something over on somebody. But if we sow kindness, what does the Bible say? Whatever we sow, that we shall also reap. So if I sow kindness, then guess what? I'm going to reap kindness. And I've had kindness come my way. I've had a girl that I've been traveling with for a couple of days now. She's a really nice lady. We don't eat the same kind of foods. She's a vegan and I'm not. I'm a carnivore, I'll admit it. But I'm doing better about not eating so much meat because you know what? To be honest with you, it's easier to prepare just fresh vegetables and stuff, and it's easier to kind of cut out on some of that stuff and cut back on the sodium. But you know what? She's been kind. She's shared her meals with me. She shared her Wi-Fi with me when I needed to get on the internet for something today. And she's given me things. And I said, Marcy, you're not in any better shape financially than I am, because we're kind of like, two peas in a pod. We kind of got the same kind of thing going on here. But kindness is in her, and generosity is in her. And there's no expectation of me to do anything for her or give anything to her. That's just part of her makeup. And I thought, you know what, Lord, that's a perfect lesson for me to understand why it's important to be kind to one another. Because when we sow kindness, kindness comes our way, and it comes in so many different shapes, forms, and fashions. I mentioned yesterday that a man named Ed brought coffee. Well, he invited me over to their fire last night, and I got to meet his wife and some other really nice people. And then this morning, before they got ready to leave, he wondered if I was awake, and so he came by because he was going to offer me coffee again. But I had not turned my lights on, and I hadn't taken the shades off my windows, so he thought I was still asleep, even though I was awake, but I was just lazy getting up. But he wanted to give me coffee again. And then before he left today, I asked him, could I pray for him? And he said, sure. And then he hugged me, and he just looked at me kind of funny, and I think he kind of felt like, okay, I don't know if there was something he wanted to say or felt like he needed to say. And he goes, you got a pretty basic rig there. You don't have anything fancy. And I said, yes, sir, I know. He said, it's kind of basic compared to what they had. They had a 40-foot diesel pusher, and he was towing a car. So, they've retired well, and they've done well, and I'm not begrudging them that. And I said, but, I've done my fair share of camping. I camped in Alaska, camped at the Moose and Kenai River and the spring runoffs, and camped on Portage Glacier, and went camping all over Alaska, and my kids and I went camping. And then we went camping in California, so I'm a little bit familiar with camping. Just I live in a van now instead of sleeping on the ground. But I felt the kindness of him being concerned about me traveling by myself. And I thought that was very generous of him to kind of want to say, and he gave me a lesson last night, and this touched my heart. He said, if you go to a campground and you see a fire, he said, go up to the fire and ask people, is it okay to approach your fire? He said, fire is a welcoming thing. A fire pit's a welcoming thing in a campground, and it should be open and welcome everyone. He said, sometimes it's not, but more often you'll find out that it is. He said, so just remember that wherever you camp, if you see somebody that's got a fire going, just walk up and say, hey, can I share your fire? And I thought, that's a kind thing to remind me that kindness comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions, and it comes from people in all walks of life, every demographic. Doesn't make any difference what the color of your skin is, what your nationality is, what your religious belief is, what your education level is, what your financial level is, what you're living in, whether you're living in a van like me or you're living in a 40-foot diesel pusher. Kindness crosses all of those genres. All we have to do is use it. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. God bless you. I'll be in touch. Bye-bye.